Sounds like my parrot at home, again and again, but offering no solutions, except the corporation, as he voted for, invest in a factory in China. Its profits are no longer taxed. He opposed when I voted against closing the loopholes for oil companies in Bermuda. And so that's the difference. He is for we, the corporations. It's pretty extreme.
Here's Mr. Toomey.
Joe, it's so clear that Joe just doesn't understand this at all. You know, Pennsylvania has lots of great companies. Many of them operate overseas. I have friends who work at a company named Air Products. And overseas, they have facilities where they develop industrial gases, which they sell to local consumers. Joe wants to punish them, raise their taxes because they have a prosperous overseas business. We have jobs in Pennsylvania that depend on that overseas business. Managerial, supervision, engineering, all kinds of jobs. And Joe wants to take what is already the second highest corporate tax rate in the industrial world and raise it even higher. This is why we're having so much trouble with this economy.
Mr. Toomey, health care, you've railed against the Obama health care plan that's been passed. What are you against in there, and what would you change, and would you vote to repeal it if you're elected to the Senate?
You know, I mentioned earlier that my dad's 80 years old. I'm not going to disclose my mom's age, but she's of that same generation. Fortunately, they're both healthy. They're both sharp as a tack. But they've got serious ongoing health issues. The thing that worries me the most about this bill, 2,000 pages of all kinds of mandates, huge new government control of health care, is that in time, and it won't be much time, the government is going to intervene between patients and their doctor.
Is there anything in there you like?
And that, no, let me finish my point, because this is a very serious concern. And I've been approached by physicians every day throughout this campaign who share this concern. Doctors, and I'm very grateful to have the endorsement of the biggest medical association in Pennsylvania, because they understand that it's very important that they preserve that flexibility to exercise the discretion that they've been trained to exercise. This bill endangers that. It's one of its biggest flaws.
In the U.S. military, everybody has health care. We don't do it because of any other reason. It gives great dividends, so you're alongside productive, healthy warriors. So when my daughter got her brain cancer at 4 years old, we were very fortunate. And I was indebted to this nation. I felt that here in Pennsylvania we had a problem. Up to 700 Pennsylvanians are losing their health care every day while Congressman Toomey was a congressman. Health premiums doubled almost 100%. But he didn't legislate, he didn't do anything, even co-sponsor a single bill on it. Now my daughter, with 2.5 million Pennsylvanian children, can no longer be denied care by his health insurance companies. Doctors, lawyers, nurses, hospitals, all supported this bill except the insurance companies. Now, seniors, Medicare was going bankrupt, and we salvaged it. We saved it. And seniors don't even have to do co-pays any longer for preventive screenings.
Mr.
We give them back $3,600.
Mr. Toomey, 15 seconds.
$2 trillion of spending, $500 billion of new tax increases, including on medical device makers, an important industry in Pennsylvania. But now, people are actually threatened with losing their coverage. This is exactly what many of us predicted. Rising costs causing employers to drop coverage. We see big companies saying they need exemptions, small companies that I talk to, small business owners.
Mr. Sestak, 10
this is
seconds.
unaffordable.
Let's look at the facts. We decreased the national debt. It is about affordability, over $1 trillion, and decreased the cost of health premiums for individuals up to 10%. While he did nothing, as 700 Pennsylvanians are losing their health care. He is talking to the corporations.
Thank you, Mr. Sestak. Thank you. We are out of time for questions, in case you haven't noticed. It is time for closing statements. A coin toss decided the order of those statements, and Mr. Sestak will go first.
Thank you all and everyone here, particularly in this wonderful hallowed hall, for this debate this evening. I joined up in the military during the Vietnam War era. I led men and women into war, into conflict. I served President Clinton in the White House, and I rose to be an admiral. But the one moment where I needed this nation, it gave us the health care that saved my daughter. It is we the people, not we the corporations, we Wall Street. I've gone everywhere throughout Pennsylvania and seen they're just like our sailors. Believe in them, invest in them, not in corporations. This is a very serious election. My opponent will do things such as saying, "Buy American" is an unfortunate tendency. He wants to eliminate all corporation taxes, and yet hold the middle-class tax cuts of the Bush era hostage unless the top 1%, the wealthy get it. I serve Republicans, Democrats, and independents alike in my district. I've been throughout Pennsylvania and see that the people are suffering. I want to be not a politician, but a public servant. I would ask you to come out to vote, and I would like your vote. But most important of all, I would ask you to remember the men and women serving overseas, who every day defend that right for you to come out and vote. Come out and vote for them.
Mr. Toomey?
Thank you all very much for being here and for all of you for participating and for hosting this. I think we're at an inflection point for our country. We have seen a government that has been taken over by the most liberal wing of the Democratic Party, who's been in complete control. Joe Sestak, clearly to the left of even the Democratic consensus, advocating and supporting the most expansive agenda that we've ever seen in our lifetimes. Serial bailouts, nationalizing whole industries, staggering amount of spending, unaffordable deficits and debt, the restrictions of cap and trade and card check and government-run health care. These are now policies that are having a chilling effect on our economy, preventing entrepreneurs from launching new businesses, small business and medium-sized business from growing. Joe Sestak voted for every item on that agenda list, and his only criticism of it was that it didn't go far enough. Now, we've got ourselves in a bad spot, but I'm very optimistic about our future. I think we can have strong economic growth again. I think we can restore prosperity. What we've got to do is remember the source of that prosperity. It didn't come from big government. It came from the private sector, from a free enterprise system, from men and women who get up every day and go to work. If we clear away the threats of this excessive and out-of-control government agenda, if we provide steady, low taxes for everybody, if we get spending under control, then I'm confident that the 21st century can be another great American century, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Gentlemen, thanks for a great debate. You certainly are offering the voters of Pennsylvania a very clear choice. We also want to thank our host tonight, the National Constitution Center.
Thank you, George Stephanopoulos from Good Morning America and World News. I also want to thank the candidates for participating tonight, and also to George, Vernon, Wendy, and the audience here at the Kimmel Theater, and for those of you watching at home and online all across the world. Now, these final words from the League of Women Voters.